for the 1v1 Elite Show. It's time for the 1v1 Elite Showdown. Hello there and welcome to the grand final. You are live in the south with the Russian juggernaut, former #1 player, all 5 factions, Jove, fighting as OKW from the south of Crossing in the Woods.
And on the north we got Isildur playing as UKF, which we have seen this matchup for like the 3rd time today.
And we've seen this map a lot as well. This is familiar territory, but new players. Well, a new matchup rather, because Jove certainly isn't new. We were checking out the old tournament spreadsheet, and Jove dominated 2016, by far the most powerful player. And here we are 3 years later, after a year in Russian military service. Jove, playing as the OKW from the south, he is looking really potent once more. Devem, what do we think about Isildur, though? I mean, what do we make of this guy?
Well, he's kind of been hiding in the shadows, I would say, for a long time. So in scrims against him, and even other players like Van Asten have also played against him, he has been a pretty strong player. Basically, I would say he's probably top 3 right now, but he basically doesn't have any tournament winnings to show for that.
No,
Let's hope that it's today that he does that.
Well, these players now are fighting for big bucks. I mean, the previous 2 combatants that have fallen out of the tournament, that's Nagano, who lost to Isildur, and Ashablaw, who lost to Jove. They both earned $90 of community-generated funds. And now the player that loses this best of 5 series will walk away with $250, but the winner will get a cool $600 US. So a lot to play for, and of course the big W and winning a tournament. First one in 3 years for Jove, and the first ever 1v1 tournament for Isildur.
Yeah, they definitely want to prove themselves here. Especially, I would say, Isildur, which doesn't have basically any showings before, so I think it's going to be big for him.
It is, and I mean, he's a bit of an enigma, Isildur. Obviously, a lot in the 2v2 crowd know him well, teaming with Von Asten all those times, and I believe winning one big 2 versus 2 tournament last year. It may have been Ultimate Team Tournament. So yeah, we find him in good form in this 1 versus 1 tournament. Von Asten did warn us. He said, "You're gonna have to watch out for this guy. I scrim against him, and I consider him to be nearly as good as I am." But in this case, he's looking possibly in the very top tier of play, having dispatched Nagano. Here we go, first tactical engagements going on. Jove forced to retreat Folks Grenadiers from the western engagement.
We got a map split, and we have also Raketten being built to answer the Brand carrier that just now came into the field.
Wise decision. Folks Grenadiers taking refuge behind the green cover over here. Meanwhile, in the east, Stern Pioneers are going to go into ambush mode, Devem. That's always cool to see.
Yeah, they're kind of waiting for someone to take the field, but Isildur isn't even close.
No, he's not right now. Isildur's going for a western map control orientation. Rakettenwerf is probably going to try and take position in the east. He's probably going to try and lure him into pushing over there. So this is a bit of a trap and a gambit by Jove.
I kind of feel like Jove is playing more defensive than he should.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's giving too much space to Isildur. No cut-off maneuvers.
Yeah, it's almost like he's playing ultra-conservative here. We've seen Isildur is a threat, though. And I must say, by the way, Devem, Jove is very aware of Isildur's prowess, because Jove, of course, playing a lot of 2 versus 2 as well as 1 versus 1. He will have encountered Isildur in the past, so a lot of respect for him.
Yeah, definitely. I think we can see that in his gameplay. Not sure if that's going to be good, though, because usually as OKW you want to pull ahead early on against Brits.
That's exactly right, and allowing Brits to consolidate themselves in this delicate early game scenario may not be what he wants to do. He's getting a 4th Folks Grenadier, Talisman style, and a very kind of conservative, I don't want to say Talisman because he's moderately aggressive. This seems a little bit defensive.
Yeah. He's trying to line up the shot at Raketten right now. And he might just get it if the Brand carrier stays in the center.
Oh, here we go. Has he got line of sight? Yes, he has. It's in range. Ouch!
Oh, and there we
UC
go.
down. Stone Pioneers have given up hide and seek. Like that. It's an annoying friend you've got when you're a kid. You ask him to go and hide, and then you like, let's never go and find him. That's the Stern Pioneers, apparently. First Grenadier is low on health. Tommy's
I should
dropped
probably
2
get
models.
that back. Okay, he's going for the cutoff now, and it seems like Jove is going for the fuel.
Yeah, both Tommy's coming. Also, a nice juicy mine in deep within Jove's territories there. We're unveiling the Raquette and Vertha. Multiple squads in base waiting to repair. We've got battle group headquarters, are very conservative by
Oh,
Jove.
that's new.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it might be because of that early game. So definitely something different now. Kind of worried for Jove though, because it usually the mechanized is like obviously the stronger playstyle. When you go battle group, it's always like almost like saying that you are doing badly in the early game.
I think Jove might be onto something overall strategically, Devon, because he might be thinking Isildur's shown some amazing micros so far this tournament, but let's test his endurance. Maybe Jove's going for a long drawn-out affair in game 1, and really going to give it to Isildur in a different way, but I think I'm probably just clutching at straws. You're probably right. It may have been better to test his a Brit's flexibility in the early game.
Yeah, I think usually mechanized gives better results, but then again, it isn't like a super bad choice. It's going to give him more fuel for the P4 later on.
Just seen 2 mine detonations in quick succession there, giving a bit of manpower casualties to Isildur. It's a good mine laying by Jove.
You also see that VPs are fairly even for now, although Jove already dropping 50.
Grenadiers pushing up into the west. Jove's had a very slow and concerted start, but he's starting to develop into this game now.
Yeah, I want to see what he does with the battle group, if he's going to build anything out of it.
I'm liking the
all-
fact that the AC's been built, but it's rather
Yeah.
redundant, you know? It's a bit of a, not a complete waste, but a little bit of a waste.
That's actually pretty good for Jove. He's actually getting the MG, which will be pretty good to counter the infantry, and the AEC isn't going to help with that.
Could you imagine double Raquette and Verfers into an Ostwind, perhaps? Something like that? It'd be good. He's got Scavenge as a possibility.
Seems like an austere kind of build.
It really does. Oh, Stern Pioneers on retreat here. Royal Engineers are being cornered.
Might be a wipe.
Oh, the AC could try and save the day. Stern Pioneers take a stationary position, and the AC pushes them out of that position. They can't get their shots off.
We have the Raketen rotating over to deal with the AC, but AC is fast to back away.
Tommy's behind the former Universal carrier, now just universally dead. West side, what's hiding here? More ambush tactics by Jove. First Grenadier hiding behind the tree line.
Yeah, he's doing this a lot this game. It's not what we saw from the Isildur and Nogano the last series we watched.
Interesting, we're seeing doubling up on sandbags there. First Grenadiers jump out of cover, having seen that he's going for the fuel points. The AC sees them and drops one of the Soldaten on the approach. Oh, and a nice grenade! This could be a squad wipe. AC is going to pursue. There you go. Coaxial gunner got the kill.
Oh, that's bad for Jove. This isn't what you want, to be happening in this matchup early on, at least.
Jove showing a little tiny bit of trepidation here, you know? He's just faltering a little bit, some of his decision making. Quite as sharp as you would expect. So Isildur certainly having a tiny bit of a stronger start in game 1 of this best of 5.
Yeah, he's well set up to go well into the mid game. I don't think Jove is creating too many problems for him at the moment.
Indeed not. You're seeing more mines being laid, but they are interrupted by the advance of these folks, Grenadiers.
Yeah, Jove is trying to get a hold of one of the fields.
Struggling though, really is. Meanwhile, we've got Tommy's waiting for him behind green cover. They're now going to occupy the garrison instead. G34 versus Grenadier. Ooh.
Oh, grenade.
Or grenade, rather. It's a Grenadier. I suppose in that
Yeah,
moment he is a Grenadier because he's throwing a grenade. I mean, it's not wrong, Devon. It's just not right.
Technically not, I guess. Oh, another on the Sternfire.
Oh, what a grenade that was! In the path. Jove, unlike his compatriot Nagano, did not dodge. We saw that earlier on versus Isildur, throwing these grenades into the path of the oncoming infantry. Jove needs to up his reactions.
Yeah, and I feel like even though it's super early into the game right now, I feel like Isildur has a really good grip into the game. He's holding the left fuel with a Tommy squad, and he has the right one.
Wary of this this approach, though, and he's right to be, because the Schwerpanzer headquarters is watching over the cutoff in a very conservative position.
I think he's looking for the Roketten right now.
He is, and
he's
he's
going to
found it.
find
Jinx. Here we go. That is a bit of a push away, though. He's keeping one First Grenadier active to cover for the Rakettenwerfer's retreat, and it is going to go the right way.
Still, he's losing the engagement Jove on this side, and on the other side, he's just getting decapped by Isildur. This is really bad.
Scavenge Doctrine is the choice, and JLIs are on the field. They don't have enough munitions, but they will soon for the G43 sniper rifle package. Gonna go hard for the right side, the eastern portion of Crossing in the Woods. It's going to be the target of choice, but infantry section are going to go into the garrison to make life difficult for him.
We might see the Osmond being built because he's so low on fuel.
Yes, he's done pretty well on fuel. And I think Osmond is the call. I mean, he may be a paid potato level caster. He's a player, but he's good at calling the plays sometimes. I'm speaking about myself in the third person. That's the first sign of like Hitler level ego. It's terrible. What am I doing? I'm just proud of myself, Devon. I said it could be this, and it is. That's all I'm saying. You know.
Well, still not sure, but high possibility.
If it isn't now, egg on my face. In a big way.
Oh, there we go. It is the Osmond being built,
Oh,
and I'm expecting
amazing.
a second Roketten to support that.
Oh, that moment when. Unbelievable. It's a risky game calling the plays, Devon, because I'm wrong 99% of that time. But that 1%, you know, more than makes up for it. Okay, in the centre, we've got the AC harassing MG34 watches on. Meanwhile, two Folks Grenadier squads are just trying to resist the onslaught of the Brits whilst they wait for the wind from the east.
Say though, not sure how much of a window this Osmond is going to have, since the company command post is already almost finished.
He does have only 47 in the bank for his fuel reserve, so it will have a small window at least. And let's see how he takes advantage of that.
Yeah, yes, yeah. Otherwise, the game will be over. Needs to do something big with this Osmond.
He needs to have the shock value. He's gambling on the Osmond being exactly that, a shock unit. Here it comes, it's going to the west side. There is an MG, so it's a good first target. Instant retreat, however. First flak rounds.
And the Roketten is firing at the AEC, got one shot off.
Misses the second, though.
Oh, might get decruit, it's really bad if it goes down. And it does go down, that's a stolen Roketten.
Oh, shit, I missed that, sorry. I was trying to understand. I had my camera fully on the thing. Good recovery. Sorry about that camera work, guys. Good recovery by Isildur to take advantage of the AC being attacked to take out the Rakettenwerfer.
That is a really big loss. Jovo was already behind. He's kind of winning on map control, but that's until
Ooh,
probably the
JLI's in
first time.
peril there. Tommies have got some excellent shots here. Negative cover's going to kick in. Oh, and taken out almost immediately. Meanwhile, the Osvin's only gotten 2 kills. The AC's pushing in to push it away even further. Kettenwerf has been built, and Jove, as I say, having a bit of a, I don't want to say weak, but it's almost timid game here. He's gone for an ultra-conservative play style with almost like, do you remember Jesulin used to go for this build order?
Yeah.
It used to work for Jesulin, got him to the final of the Warpaint Championships, I believe. Well, kind of 3rd place playoff, rather.
It really isn't a playstyle you want to have against UKF player, I feel like.
No. Works well against Soviets sometimes, but against UKF or the Brits with the AEC and the 6-pounder, and now, of course, the heat grenades from these Royal Engineers, it's not quite as impactful as you'd want it to be.
Isildur probably close to the Cromwell now, yeah, just 2 fuel away.
Here it comes.
There we go.
Incredible prediction, Devon. That's 1 each now.
But yeah, Jove really is pushed almost into his base. If Isildur pushes the fuel now, he's going to have also no fuel control.
Here comes the AEC to force the Osvind away. All it's been able to do is destroy the green cover. It only has 5 kills, which isn't exactly in keeping with the shock value it needed to have. Oh, big shot as well from afar there.
Yeah, this AEC though is doing work.
Target tread, plinks away harmlessly on the follow-up though. Kettenwerfer's in wait. It would have been a trap. Meanwhile, in the center, MG34.
Watch out for the grenade on the left. I think there's going to be one. Yeah, there we go.
Nice grenade. Oh, he goes the right way, Jove. Good gameplay there. Didn't retreat into it.
I think he's overextending with the Volk squad though.
He has a little bit. Meanwhile, in the center, French Grenadiers force their way forward, but Tommies have got the flank off. Oh, an easy dodge for Isildur. Jove not quite giving him the respect he possibly deserves with that grenade toss. Throws everything he had in his pockets at him. Loose change, passport photo, nothing worked. The Tommies persist. Thanks to
Here comes the Cromwell.
Oh, here he is. Big boys in the centre causing all kinds of problems. Osvin's on reprimand. Oh, in a containment area now.
Jove does have 2 rockets to deal with the Cromwell, but still. Not sure if it's going to be enough for the rest of the forces that Isildur has.
And with this little tiny bit of elevation here, this Kettenwerf is missing a lot of its shots.
Jove is going for kind of slow build where you slowly crawl up the map with the with the league, but not too sure if it's the right build considering that these VPs are quickly dropping.
It's just showing there that Isildur has a stranglehold on Jove. He has the eastern flank covered with Tommies in green cover. He's containing the centre with a Kettenwerfer, of course, and the Cromwell, the AEC all acting in unison. There's the Kettenwerfer now, causing big problems. What a call into question. I mean, this Schwerpanzer positioning, he could have put it on his cutoff a little bit more, couldn't he? It would have actually protected him a bit better, allowed him room to push out.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I was going to say that, yeah, I could have placed it a bit further into the map to protect Cutoff and a bit of the center, but I think he was afraid that because he was falling behind that he could potentially lose that Isildur push.
He needs to unleash the beast and not fear his opponent a little bit, Jove, seemingly.
Oh,
Nice.
that grenade.
Great grenade there. He's suppressed, so he can't finish the job, but there is another Tommy squad acting.
I just barely got away.
ISG for Jove, but it's not gonna have much room in which to operate in terms of time because the victory points are ticking away at speed of knots. 140 Roughly 3
Yeah.
per second remaining.
I mean, it does have almost a feel for Panzer IV, but I feel like it's going to
AEC
be too
rushing
late.
in. Ostwind surviving. Pop smoke to survive, though, the AEC, because the Flak Panzer was defending.
Yeah, I don't think that Jove is going to have the time to get back into the field, honestly.
No, it doesn't seem that way. Be a rare OKW loss on Crossing in the Woods today, because it seems like they've not been able to lose so far.
Yeah, questionable decisions from Jove, to be honest. Not too sure why he did them.
Yeah, very defensive mindset. Maybe, as I say, maybe he values winning tournaments so much. Maybe it's a big thing. I've always said this about Russians as well. You've got to consider living costs and currency translation costs. $600 is a lot of money in Russia. It's I'm not being patronising either. It's just the way of the world, you know. So for Jove, there might be a little bit of nervousness with regards to the prize pool. A little bit of, you know, incentive. Maybe he's a little putting himself under too much pressure and just not going to allow the game to play itself, you know. He's not doing the obvious things. He's thinking about it too much, trying to go for some crazy defensive Ostwind rush build. And he's only gotten 5 kills with the Flak Panzer, so it's certainly not paid off.
Yeah, luckily for him, he's in a best of 5, so there's time to recover. Because Isildur certainly had his number this game.
Oh yeah, rushing in with the AEC, smoking out the MG, and here comes the Cromwell. Getting put round the Rakettenwerfer. There is a Faust, but there's no damage, so no damaged engine. Rakettenwerfer forced away, as is the MG. Tommy's coming in, and also, meanwhile, in the centre, we've got a pitch battle with a 2-man Focus Grenadier about to die. Yes, it does. This could be the end of the game, Devem.
Yeah, it most definitely is. Jove is desperate to get a hold of those VPs. And now we have the P4 in production, but it's far too late.
Far too late. Double-digit figures and a double cap being initiated, which will complete all 3 victory points in Isildur's favour, and that should be the end of the game. Grenade tossed again. Isildur's timings on retreat grenades have been bad all tournament, by the way. A cracking player that's playing better than anybody, but the only thing he can't do, it seems, is get a grenade off on retreat.
Yeah, he needs to get those timings down.
Yeah. L2P, Isildur, L2P.
Like Martin would say, play tutorial.
He's always had a cool name, Isildur, obviously named after, you know, the King of Men from the first age of Lord of the Rings or something. But, yeah, he's never really lived up to his potential in 1v1 tournaments, having not played them. So it's kind of cool that we get to see him seemingly dominate so far.
Yeah, I don't think that he has had many difficulties getting to here, I think, from what I've seen.
No, it's been a good showing. Captain S Prize, Von Ivan, and then Nagano in the semi-final. So 3 really good players there. He's beaten them all. Finds himself here in the grand final, winning game 1 with room to spare.
To answer the chat question about where he's from from England.
That's right.
I am not mistaken, yeah.
He's from England. Don't know too much about him, though. He's been quite a quiet guy in the community, from what I've gathered. I've never spoken to him anyway. Ostwind finally having shock value, Devem. It's decrewed the Rakettenwerfer. There we go. It was all worthwhile. Well played by Isildur. Jove, I mean, sorry. Yeah. Isildur's going to have to throw in the towel now, surely. There we go. Jove takes it with the incredible comeback, thanks to the Ostwind.
He did have the moral victory there in the end.
Maybe. No, indeed. Isildur with a dominating victory, 1-0 to the Englishman.
It's time for the 1v1 Elite Show. It's time for the 1v1 Elite Showdown.
And there we go. I mean, Luciano in chat saying Isildur was always a superb player. He was one of the candidates to win this tournament from the beginning. I agree. He was certainly seeded quite high at seed 6. He's always like the dark horse, I called him. You know, there's a big expectation that he could be secretly a top tournament 1v1 player, but having never really played in 1v1 tournaments before, only 2v2. So certainly showing his awesome potential. There you go, 1-0 to the Englishman. The Russian takes a loss. I've put a 1 in my keypad, which means I changed scene. I need to remember that. But and there you go. There you go, indeed.
Also, many UKF victories. At least UKF is having a better win rate here than it, has been having in other tournaments.
Certainly, it's finally showing that UKF may be viable as long as you remove the worst of the call-in meta, aka the Command Panther. It has a bit of a chance.
I think a lot of factors have played into that. They got the snare on the sappers, and also obviously Ossier, which was the big counter to UKF, got some really big nerfs in the mobile defense, which was a big commander for Ossier.
Looks like yeah, as I say, it's the Brit show with Jove and Isilda in the final. It seems finally we've broken like the helping hands dominance of tournament Brit play, with Jove and Isilda using them in every game of Allies so far.
Yeah, I think that Hans is going to have to fight for that title now.
Number one Brit play. He might even have to do that on a larger scale, with Isilda's performance being absolutely sublime. Let's just check out some.
Poor Hans out Britain. I have to agree with that.
Out Britain, did it say? Yeah. Very good. Big shout out to Paige Slinger in chat yesterday. Paige Slinger donated $300. I'll show that on screen here on this leaderboard. We completed all of our goals for this prize pool yesterday. Paige Slinger was a big part of that, of course, adding to Rayford's 500. D Gamer, The Pope, Sturm Tiger Gaddafi with the Coco Jambo Award. Ricky Rifle, creative name. Story C1 Netic, Rookie, and Pompey. There's your $10,040 dollars. Of course, the prize pool, just to show how open this is.
That comment, go Armstrong.
Yeah,
We have been waiting for Armstrong to go for years.
Come on, Armstrong, go!
It's time for the 1v1 Elite.
Sorry, guys, hang on. Can't press numbers on my keypad because that's the scenes. I still can't remember this somehow, so I have to do it on the top bar. What a retard. I am literally retarded. I'm an accountant. I'm an accountant, so for me the keypad is like muscle memory. I just do it like that. I don't even think about it. I press numbers like a beast. I'm insane. But yeah, I'm not very good at using the top bar, unfortunately. 250. Add 180 for third and fourth. At 50. There's your $1,080. So technically, I'm fronting the tournament for 40 at the moment. So just $40 from any of you guys watching would be absolutely awesome, just to round up the prize pool and get it to the 10,080 we've committed to the players. So that's every penny going to the players. So much appreciated to all of your support. You can find a donation link under where it says beer in my stream. It says beer there, but it is actually going to the tournament, don't worry. And there you go.
We have the bands right now being done.
Okay, coolio.
What is Elder said?
Panel doesn't work. Oh, okay, fair enough. I think, yeah, they've changed the link, haven't they? Sorry, just waiting for the commander bands. Are we still demoing? They're getting on board, though. It's a little bit difficult. Obviously, Jove only speaks Russian, so it's a little bit difficult for the referees to communicate with him. That's why it takes a little bit of time.
Yeah, he used to have Nogano translating for him. Not anymore, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose so.
But yeah, now Jove has been put under pressure, and I wonder if he can deal with that. Because if he falls, you know, again, if he falls again flat in the next game, not too sure if he has many chances. Like I said before, I feel like the winner of the first 2 games is going to take the series, and I feel like Isildur had a very commanding showing. Especially considering that usually you see Axis win on that map. I think it's going to be tough for Jove.
Yeah, link works now, by the way, everybody. As I say, this isn't me asking for money. This is every penny goes to the tournament. So, thank
Please
you.
donate.
Cheers, Storm Jaeger. Sorry for being salty with you earlier about the audio, but it is the hardest part to get. And DevM and I did have time to audio test today, so that's the results of that. And I figured out the pesky gain setting. I don't know if you watched, but cover your ears. I'll show you the clip from yesterday. But basically, Windows took control of my microphone and increased the gain to 100%, which caused this clip yesterday. So cover your ears. Let's listen to this. This is DevM's favourite moment from a tournament ever as well, by the way. So you can
I already know which one it is.
all over again. Oh, we've had a suicide! DevM conceding kamikaze thanks to the Panzer Sphere. One all over again. Not my best casting moment, I think, but certainly DevM's favourite ever moment from a tournament. There you go.
Yeah, he certainly outplayed me there. I couldn't see the plane coming.
No, couldn't see it.